Live. I'm your host, King David MMA. I am a professional MMA champion of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Plus, I coach at the best gym on the planet, Extreme Couture. And Sean Strickland has absolutely punked and humiliated Will Smith and his family. We're going to get into all that. Plus, big news in the boxing versus MMA world where UFC star Arman Tsarukyan is big beefing with Ryan Garcia, and he kind of punked him too, man. We're going to get into all of that. Plus, we have more news for you guys. Kayla Harrison's manager fires back at Ronda Rousey. The beef between UFC and MVP, Netflix and Paramount is heating up. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get into Mike Perry's latest quote, which is kind of funny and kind of sad at the same time. It's a little bizarre, but we're going to get into all that, guys. Let me make sure that everything is working on here. Okay, the chat's popping off. All right, we got the chat going. Let me move this like this. All right, perfect, guys. So we got Arman the Dawn in the chat. Make sure you follow Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. Fight Circus on Instagram at Fight Circus. Look them up and make sure you send your coach to studiomillions.com. They'll fucking thank you for it. Listen, I don't even need to talk about that right now. Just do it, man, and they're gonna love you guys. And thank me later. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Shout out to everybody that's hopping on the chat right now. I appreciate you guys, man. You like, subscribe, comment, do all that. You know what I mean? And the real ones, like, see, that's the problem. When you start doing lives, you're supposed to say subscribe and tap the notifications, bang the bell. But I don't want a bunch of dorks around me. I don't want a bunch of randos. I want people that like I resonate with, that I would kick it with, that I would hang out with, that I would train with, that I would like say something to when we both laugh, or they would say something. I'd be like, oh, that's a good insight. Or you know what I mean? Like-minded individuals. So we got a good group started on the channel right now. So shout out to everybody that's already subscribed. Sean Strickland versus Will Smith. Will Smith gets, if it's not bad enough, Will Smith gets absolutely humiliated by Sean Strickland because Jada Pickett Smith, or whatever her name is, she has gone out into the press and says that she is the victim, and that by her saying that she has cheated on Will Smith, that she's the one that's taking the blame for being a cheater, and she's doing that for Will. It's like, it's fucking ridiculous at this point. What caffeinated drinks are you drinking tonight? Okay, the chat. Okay, you listen. All right, chat. Listen, we have a 0-calorie cola. I'm already off 450 milligrams plus 2 of these. So that is 68. So we are at 500, like 518 or something. You know what I mean? Plus this one will be another 34. So that'll put us at 500 and, just off the top of my head, like 42 or something. These are fucking delicious. Anyways. So yeah, Sean Strickland went in on Will Smith. And he essentially said, bro, can you imagine being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and getting fucking disrespected like this by this chick? Like, you marry this chick. And then he called her like a succubus. That's his wife. That's the mother of his children. And while she may be a succubus, to everybody observing, I'm sure Will Smith is not thrilled. And I know that it got back to Will Smith. Like, yo, man, there's a UFC champion banging on you. And honestly, while the internet is saying that Strickland is disrespecting Will Smith, I look at it like he's kind of like being a bro to him in a way, right? Like, what would you say to your bro? You'd be like, bro, you fucking saved the world from aliens. You were the star of Men in Black. You were the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, bro. What are you doing? You can do better, bro. Do not let this woman abuse you. That's what you would say to your friend. So in a way, Strickland's kind of being like big bro to Will Smith. We got Felony Charles Bennett, MMA legend, in the chat. Felony has turned the moderation on. You know what I'm saying? He's out here working the YouTube machine. You know what I mean? That's what we do here. So yeah, I thought that was interesting that that Jada Pickett's, it's so fucking backwards, man. She's out here saying that she is protecting Will Smith by admitting she cheated on him. Like, what is she talking about? And there's some internet theories that are saying that Will Smith is the one who hooked up with the dude that Jada hooked up with, and that she's protecting Will from the revelation that Will was gay with that dude, which is not accurate. You know what I mean? To my knowledge, that didn't happen. That's an internet rumor. But Jada is saying that she's the victim. So what could that mean, guys? It could mean that she's saying, hey, we were separated. Will was fucking. I was fucking. Okay. And instead of having him look bad, I took the blame for being the adulteress when it was really him who wasn't settling down with me. So I put that blame on me. Maybe that's what she's saying, guys. But either way, Strickland called her a succubus. And the coldest part about this whole thing, the whole thing. Let's see Will Smith slap Sean Strickland the way he slapped Chris Rock. He won't do it. You get what I'm saying? It was cool to slap Chris Rock and be like, yo, man, I'm fucking 6'2", bro. You talking about my wife, bro? You know what I mean? He won't do that to Strickland, though. I bet you guys $5 he won't do that to Strickland. Oh, snap. We got Lewis in the chat. Bro, she kind of weird. People forget she left her family vacation for a few hours to go be with Future. Bro, I didn't even know that happened. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that went down. That is fucking wild. What was Future doing? Just he's mad at Will Smith or something? Shit, man. Dude, this is what I'm saying, man. These people are fucking nuts. A lot of crazy drama. Speaking of other crazy drama, we got Arman Tsarukyan absolutely punking Ryan Garcia. So if you guys have been following this, Ryan Garcia has been IRL streaming and everybody's doing kick. You know what I mean? And Arman's been on kick. So they do a collab. They're in each other's stream. And then Arman bets Ryan Garcia $40,000 that Ryan Garcia cannot drop Arman's friend with body shots. So they body shot spar. Ryan Garcia cannot drop him. Ryan Garcia pays the 40 bands. Then Ryan Garcia says, hey, man, I'm gonna pop out, bro, but let me hold that 40 bands. I gotta count it. I gotta make sure. I thought it was 40. I just want to double check. Takes the $40,000, bounces out with the 40 grand, doesn't pay him back, says he's gonna hit him in 5 days with a wire transfer, and doesn't do it. Now the beef escalates here because now that Arman puts him on blast for not, it gets way worse. Now that he puts him on blast for not paying. Oh, snap. Spit and fire daily. You know how we do. Flame emojis. Let's go, guys. Yeah, and so Arman then starts banging on Ryan Garcia like, hey, man, you owe me money. It's been 5 days. What's up? Ryan Garcia fires back and goes, man, you guys set me up. I didn't know that dude was a pro fighter. I thought it was a regular guy. So when I made the bet, I didn't have all the information. You guys are scamming me. Why don't we do this? So Ryan now is claiming it was a scam, but he bet on this dude based on the knowledge he had. And Arman bet on that dude based on Ryan accepting the bet. So to me, it's a fair bet. Ryan owes him 40,000, but Ryan wants to escalate. So Ryan says, hey, why don't we do this? We'll put up $100,000. And Arman, if you can last 8, see, it's getting spicy, right? Like, if you can last 8 rounds with me, I'll give you 100 G's. Let's double or nothing at plus 25. You know what I mean? Like, let's really run it, bro. 100 bands, 8 rounds sparring. Can you last? Doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. So Arman has now punked him because Arman fired back and said, bro, instead of $100,000, I'll see your 100 G's. I'll raise you 900 grand. Let's put $1 million on it, bro. And if you could survive 1 round with me in MMA, I'll give you $1 million. Ryan Garcia's crickets, guys. Ryan Garcia's crickets. He will not take that. And this is the craziest part, right? Because for whatever fucking timeline we're on, whatever unique bizarre reality we're living on. Boxing gets paid more than MMA. As just, I know they go, well, it's the top guys in MMA fight. No, dude, boxing makes more money. Even though they're less skilled. Like they can't grapple, they can't elbow, they don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to actually like really fight. They know how to box, which is cool because in a limited skill set, it's like a sport, right? Like I don't know how to fucking golf, right? So I'm not hating on a golfer making money, but it's like, well, golf isn't baseball because the golf ball is on the floor on a little tee and it's stationary. So it's kind of like T-ball, like what I played when I was like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was like 4 years old to maybe 6. And then I was like, you know what? I just want to go fast pitch. And then I started hitting home runs. That's a different story. Okay, guys, we don't need to talk about my junior league, little league accomplishments right now, although they're vast. But T-ball isn't the same as golf, isn't the same as baseball. Boxing is not MMA. So while these dudes do have a violent sport, and it is a combat sport, and it sucks to get hit in the head, and body shots hurt and all that, it's not a real fucking fight. This dude will never, ever, 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 ever take that fight. He won't take that bet. He won't do any of it. And then he's going to come back and say, well, why don't we box? Because you can't box because MMA fighters don't know how to box because it's hard or whatever, right? And it's like, dude, we've seen how this plays out. James Toney fell for it. He took the bait. He fought Randy Couture. He got low singled and he got choked real quick. One-sided beatdown. Didn't land like an actual legitimate punch at all. At all. One-sided. Taken down, beat up, choked. And if there was no ref, you'd have been choked unconscious and then further than unconscious and then buried in the desert. So that's the reality of that situation, that in unarmed combat, boxers are not prepared for MMA fighters, yet they make more money. So they understand this because this is how boxing works, right? I'm the A side, you're the B side, da, da, da. It's got to be my terms. So they always have their terms because they know MMA fighters, a lot of times, are down bad. So then the MMA fighter will go box them in boxing, a la Jake Paul's entire career, where they're going to lose in boxing, 80, 90% of the time, 95% of the time. And then the boxers get to go run around in their fake imaginary pretend world that they did something. And it's like, dude, fight the guy in MMA. They won't do it. So I'm excited to see where this beef goes, but we already know where it's going to go. I'm hoping for a different outcome, but we already know, right? Like I'm hopeful. Good vibes only, guys, right? I stay positive. I'm hoping for a good outcome where they actually spar MMA. That would be fucking amazing to me. But will that happen? No. Ryan Garcia is going to go, oh, see, man, you're scared to box. Arman's going to say, well, dude, come fight me for real. It's $1 million. She's going to say, I don't need $1 million. Why don't you come over? Da, 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 da. We can box. We can run it. I make more than that. Like, and then hide behind money. That's what's going to happen. He will absolutely not go sparring. Although nothing would bring my heart more joy in the combat sports community than that, right? Because my heart's already filled with joy. You know what I'm saying? I got a dime piece girlfriend, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying in the combat sports community, okay? Nothing will bring my heart more joy in combat sports than Arman stuffing Ryan Garcia's face in the mat, giving him a noogie and slapping him up, Just like don't even hurt the dude. You know what I mean? Just like play with him like a little like like a little like baby brother. Like, you think you know, oh my gosh, you punch people? That's cute, bro. Here's the mat. Sniff the mat, bro. That would bring me combat sports joy, guys. Speaking of combat sports beef, your favorite girl, Kayla Harrison, has had her manager fire back at your other favorite girl, Ronda Rousey, guys. And I know, guys, you're thinking that these two women are charming and charismatic and lovely and all of that. And I agree, right? But they're being nasty to each other. All right. They're being really nasty to each other because Ronda essentially said that Kayla Harrison doesn't think big enough, and that Ronda also said Kayla Harrison is either underpaid or overvalued. She's basically saying that if you were the biggest star in MMA, in women's MMA, you wouldn't be on an undercard underneath two dudes fighting for an interim. You would actually be headlining. Like Ronda is on the biggest fight card in human history, which is the Netflix card. So Ronda's got a point, but Kayla's got a manager. And Kayla's manager's name is Ali Abdelaziz. And if you Google Ali Abdelaziz, a lot of crazy stuff comes back, especially if you're like an American patriot and you Google him. And I don't know if any of it's true. I don't know. I know people who are managed by him and they say he's the nicest, sweetest, most helpful dude. And then I know other people who are not managed by him that say that he should be in a jail cell somewhere. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know the dude personally. I see him at the gym. I just keep it like this. What's up, bro? And he says, what's up? And we just keep going. You know what I mean? He's not in my way. I'm not in his way. Right. But he's a controversial figure and he does speak out for his fighters at times. There's so much other stuff going. Like, I got a side tangent on that. We'll maybe circle back to that. But Kayla's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has essentially listed Kayla's credentials: two-time Olympic judo gold medalist, PFL champion, UFC champion. Ronda Rousey is a former UFC champion who got knocked out twice in her last two fights. So he's saying the comparison's not even close, which leads me to my next point. I was going to do an entire video on this, but the Strickland thing was just too funny to me because Will Smith, man, I want Will Smith to get it together. Like I'm rooting for Will Smith in this whole situation. And I have friends like Will, and they're trying to do the right thing. They're trying, like, for the kids, for the family. I'm gonna like he's such a winner that he's putting up with more than he should. You get what I'm saying? Like he believes, he's a believer, he believes in himself. That's how he got to where he's at. So he's like putting more and more and more into this relationship. And it's like, bro, you are going down the wrong fucking channel with that. So I started the video with that because I thought that was fucking kind of funny or whatever. Because Strickland, man, Strickland's right. Like Strickland's right. Like, what are you doing, bro? You're A-list movie star. What are we doing here? You're action movie star, which is like the most sought after goal by like a lot of the population in human history ever since movies were invented, was like being a fucking actor in fucking movies, like action movies. Bad motherfucker, right? Okay, we got Felony Charles Bennett saying he agreed until he can't take the more than the stick. He agreed until he can take more. Who's taking more than the stick? What whole felony? What are we talking about, bro? They got whose hole? You talking about, bro? You talking about Jada's hole? You talking about Will's hole? You talking about Jada's hole? You talking about Will's hole, bro? What is going on? I'm not subscribing to the Will Smith is gay theory, guys. Like, I'm not even. I'm not. I'm also not doing the like saying I'm not doing it, but like implying I'm doing it. But I'm like really not subscribed to that theory. I like this angle. Anyways, he agreed until the hole was taking more than the stick. Agreed to Jada was getting more dick than he. Oh fuck, man. Yeah, that's where everybody gets crazy, man. They get in these situations where they start swapping and at that point, just be single. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be doing all that, just be single. That's my take on that. So yeah, Kayla Harrison and Ronda got into it. And what I wanted to actually do this video on, but I felt it wasn't as like funny to me. It wasn't as like humorous, was that Ronda, although this might have been more controversial. Ronda says when people ask her about her age, because she's coming back and she's like 41 or something like that, they're like, hey Ronda, like, what about your age? How are you going to come back and fight competitively in MMA? And she's like, nobody's asking John Jones about his age. Like, why isn't that brought? Well, first of all, that is brought up. People do question John Jones's age. They questioned it when he was supposed to come back and fight Tom Aspinall. And secondly, John Jones didn't get escorted out of the fucking building on a stretcher in his last fight or his last two fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big difference. So all we've seen from John is fucking dominance. The last thing we saw from Ronda, whatever that was years, was that 5 years ago? Was it 8 years ago? How long ago was that? Well, she was getting bodied. She was getting bodied. That's why they're like, hey, you shouldn't even want to do this. You're a little older. Your last two didn't go so well. You had a long layoff. That's what they're implying. And she's still pushing the like, women and men should be equal. So why don't you ask John Jones? They do ask John Jones. Even though he's the fucking GOAT. I might start streaming in this direction, guys. Show off the jawline. You know what I mean? We might get the subscriber count up if I start streaming in this direction. Let me check the chat real quick. People forget that Kayla has won 5 million tournament back to back in the PFL. Yeah. Kayla, dude, and I was at the PFL. I was cornering. Kayla Harrison is a big motherfucker, bro. She's like brolic, like yoked. And she's walking around that joint like she runs that motherfucker. I was backstage and I was like curious because people, I've heard like really good people hyping Kayla up. Like, yo, she's the fucking best. She's a bad motherfucker. And I'm like, because like women's MMA, you never know, right? Like I've trained with some of the best women on the planet, like world champions. They're not like dudes. You know what I mean? Like, a regional dude is tougher, in my experience, than female world champions. And that's not knocking the females. They're fighting other females. They're not fighting dudes. You know what I mean? They're not fighting pro MMA champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts with God-given jawlines. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that, and they don't have to. But like just training with them, you hear these stories. Oh, so and so was beating up men in the gym, and it's like, was she really though? Or were those dudes going light? And then she was like, they didn't want to hit her back. And then she's like, oh, I did really well with so and so. I could beat up Sean O'Malley. It's like, dude, you know what the fuck Sean O'Malley would do to one of these? And then they were making a case. Remember when Rogan was making the case that Ronda will beat up like top 10 dudes in the UFC at 135? Remember that? That was wild. So, anyways, I'm backstage cornering, big professional event, PFL. So cornering at all of these places. BKFC, cornering in UFC, cornering in PFL, cornering regionally, cornering at, Fusion Fight League, cornering at Fierce MMA, cornering all over the place. You see a lot of different operations behind the scenes. UFC is the fucking gold standard best. Obviously, you would imagine that they would be. They run like a fucking well-oiled machine. Everything is handled. They have fucking drivers for you. They have like, you can go to the lobby and meet. This dude will take you to Whole Foods and like let your designated driver know where you need to go. You need to hit a sauna. You need to like, it's handled. I'm talking per diems. I'm talking we got fistfuls of cash. We buy whatever fucking food we want. We're walking around with fucking money in our hand. Like, that's not even what the fighter's getting paid. That's how they did it. And that could be the person who I cornered, that could be his management. It could be different for everybody. But for my experience, that's what the UFC was like. The best experience I've had in terms of like organization of a promotion, right? When it comes to the PFL is fucking second place closest. PFL had special workout rooms for us. They had all kinds of gear. They had mitts. They had gloves. They had like a whole fucking situation. You could get like Combate Global had this too, like those little saunas that you sit in up here that you could get to your room. Like they had it all handled. They were the second best. They weren't quite as over the top as UFC, but the PFL was on point. So I'm in back, right? And they have like this cool fucking media section, and then after the fight, the fighter goes and gets interviewed, and it's very well done. And when I was cornering them, they were at the Universal Studios. It's like a sound stage inside Universal Studios where you shoot movies. So they were like shooting a fucking movie next door, right? It was who the fuck was it? It was like a Keanu Reeves movie or something, like right next door to the PFL. And I'm like, this is pretty epic. We're on a Universal set. They have fucking catering. You get what I'm saying? They're doing it right. So, and the catering was like pretty decent. It was like, oh shit, okay. So I'm like in the back and I see this buff motherfucking chick walking around. Like, I'm like, whoa, is that a bodybuilder? What the fuck's this bodybuilder? It was Kayla Harrison. I'm talking thick neck, fucking traps, muscles in her back and shit. You know what I'm saying? Brolic. And I was like, That is one chick who might be able to beat up some dudes. And she was like, she didn't like the shorts for the PFL. So she's like, hey, we need new shorts. She's just like telling, hey, come here. What's up? Da, da, da. None of the girls like the shorts. We need new shorts. You know what I mean? She's like, what are we doing? Like very, it was interesting to see because she was like, she knew her value in the company. And she wasn't doing it like an asshole way, but she was doing it like a, hey, like, you guys are here. We're here. You guys want us to build the company. Here's what we want. And so it was interesting to see that, right? And that was that was kind of crazy. So I'm not sure how she's making 135 pounds. If she fought Ronda today, I'm picking Kayla. Ronda is gonna absolutely mollywop Gina. I know this because Ronda is training with my former coach, or was at some point. Recently, I still need to look that up, guys. I did 2 practices today. I got all cut up and shit. I got these scratches on my neck. You can't see them right now, but somebody didn't cut their nails. I did pro practice, and I haven't done pro practice at Extreme Couture in a while. And yeah, man, if you're gonna ever pop into Extreme Couture and you pop into pro practice, just come in shape, or else you're gonna get fucking dragged. So I didn't get dragged today, but it was like the closest I've been to getting dragged in fucking recent memory in the last like 5-10 years. It was pretty intense. And then I did amateur practice too, because I'm a G like that, 2 in a day. You know what I mean? That's just me. Speaking of fucking G's, Mike Perry's a G. He is the king of violence in bare knuckle. And BKFC pays him well, and he has his own belt. It's like the BMF title for BKFC. So he doesn't actually fight for the BKFC titles. He fights for the BKFC King of Violence title, which he has. And then other people from different divisions can come fight him. Super fights. Like Darren Till could fight him for the King of Violence title. You know what I mean? Even though Darren Till isn't even in the rankings. I'm not even sure if they have rankings, guys. That's between us. But if they do have rankings, the King of Violence title has nothing to do with that. And Mike Perry said he's able to not get knocked out because he drank the water in Flint, Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Is that what it is? Is that the secret to not getting knocked out? We got to go get that Flint, Michigan water. That's wild. And that's the thing about Mike Perry, man. He says off the fucking chart shit, but it's like 1,000 times better than these other dudes that are like, I want to thank my coaches and my team, and I want to thank my sponsors, and I'll fight anybody, and I'm just going to leave it up to the promotion, and you know, they pick who I fight. It's like, dude, look at what just happened with the Incredible Hulk, Josh Hogan, right? That dude's gonna fight for a title within 2 fights. I did a whole video on that, and if you haven't seen the backstory between the Kayla and the Ronda, go watch my previous live, the one previous to this, because Ronda absolutely went fucking scorched earth. I have the whole fucking text and I read the whole fucking thing out. Ronda went scorched earth on Kayla. And in the live before that, I was talking about Josh Hokick. And Josh, he's going to fight for the fucking belt in 2 fights because he's going to beat um, Derek Lewis at the White House in front of Trump and in front of Dana. And then he's going to call out Alex Pereira, who's fighting next. And he's going to call out Alex Pereira. He's going to say, chom on my balls. Alex should beat Cyril Gahn. That's what everybody's anticipating. And now we have a fight. And even though he doesn't fight the number 4 guy or whatever in the world next, he just beat the number 5 guy. He's going to get another win. And rather than beating the 3 or 4 guy, he's going to go straight into the title because he's going to talk his fucking way into it. And I saw some fucking dork. I wish dude, I gotta fucking figure out this software so I can pull up the actual video. But there was this dork online and he's going, felony. I actually saw you had shared his stuff. And he was talking about, you know, all Josh did was be a retard. He just retard maxed, and now he's fucking top 5 in the UFC. And it's like, dude, if you think that's all this dude did, like, this dude's like a 2-time All-American in fucking D1 wrestling, and he was a fucking college football player, so he's a fucking super athlete, and he went against a junior college national champion in Curtis Blades, and he got taken down and popped right the fuck back up, and then fought that dude for 15 fucking minutes. Like, that's all that's, dude, if you think you get able to do that, by being a fucking retard, you're the retard. You know what I mean? Like straight up. So, anyways, I saw that dork saying that, and I kind of get what he's saying. Like, yeah, this guy is just talking a bunch of shit and fighting kind of crazy. But like to be able to stay in that fight against a fucking top 5 dude in the world, you gotta be a motherfucking G. And if somebody doesn't realize that, that says more about them than it does about Josh or fucking Curtis Blades. Because both of those dudes are bad motherfuckers. So on behalf of Curtis Blades, on behalf of Josh Hokett, I'd like to publicly say, fuck that dude that said that. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. So, anyways, that's my rant on that. I saw I saw that post, and I get what he's saying about like the guy's acting cringy and all that shit. But like to discount what he did in the octagon is like pretty fucking wild. All right, I'm gonna read the chat. Let me take a sip of this. Let me get a little more caffeine. Caffeine and combat. You know how we do. Some of the little amateurs on the team at Extreme Couture said they were gonna hop in on the live, hop in the chat, but I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the show me state, guys. So when I go to the gym, now I'm gonna have to slap them up. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, man, words and actions got to be one, bro. If you're not gonna be in the chat, that's fine, but don't come up to me. Tell me you love my lives. Tell me you watch every one of them. Tell me that you hop on them and you just lurk, and then tell me you're gonna drop some emojis in the chat and then not do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, right? Anyways, I help coach these little dudes. So, we got to make men out of these motherfuckers, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get to this chat right now. Ronda is delusional and old and weird. Dude, well, hey, they do say steroids and autism is the best mix for martial arts. So, you know what I mean? Maybe her weirdness is a little bit of it. And she also looks a little thick right now, too. So I'm just curious about, you know, I mean, she's probably natural, guys. But I would be curious if she was to reveal her peptide program. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know. 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 Here's the crazy part. I wish everybody could just say that they're on fucking steroids. Why are we playing these games? Why are we Paulo Costa? That dude's natty. They're saying that Conor McGregor's been tested more times than like any other fighter. And he's like admitted to being on steroids while he was rehabbing his leg. It's like, what are we doing, guys? What are we fucking doing here? Let's just admit it. Like the Diaz brothers said, I believe it was Nick, and I think it gets quoted as Nate, but I could be backwards. They're all on steroids. They're all on steroids, guys. And like, it's professional sports. It should be just accepted. But like we gotta play this like child's game that these people aren't on juice. So, anyways, Ronda's natty, Kayla's natty. It's all good. And I'm not calling them out as like sarcastically saying that they're natty, right? Like if they claim they're natty, straight up. Like I trust but I verify, right? So if they say that, then I believe them. But it would be nice if we were in a forum, like as a fucking society, where people could tell the truth without getting shamed, so that you wouldn't have to worry about their authenticity. Because everybody, even if they are on juice, has to say they're not on juice. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's have some fucking transparency here, guys, and let's just stop the shame and just be like, hey, man, these things enhance performances and we want to see good performances. The fans want to see good performances, guys. You want to see dudes crushing baseballs out of the park, or you want to see guys slow and fucking chubby striking out? What do you want? You know what I mean? Anyways, back to the chat. Mike Perry said that he doesn't give a damn. Yeah, Mike Perry's an interesting dude. I met him with Felony when Felony knocked that dude out in the second round at Knucklemania and broke that guy's jaw. And yeah, Mike's an interesting character, man. He got into a brawl there. I think he fought Eddie Alvarez's whole family in the crowd. Like, you know what I mean? And I think they like kind of jumped him. And I think like he was kind of laughing about it because he was like, dude, there was like 5 of you and I'm fine. So what does that say about y'all? You know what I mean? Like, it was interesting. Mike Perry's an interesting dude. I'm a big fan of his fights. And if Nate stands with him, I think Mike Perry might KO Nate. But I also think Nate could make the fight extremely easy. Shoot, get the takedown or not. If Mike stuffs the takedown in a way where you're in on like a single and you're having trouble finishing, pull half, maybe with an underhook. You know what I mean? And then either sweep or recover guard. And if you guys are like, that won't work in MMA, go watch Damian Maia versus Chael Sonnen. Case study, right? So I'm not just saying imaginary hypotheticals. I'm saying like two of the best fighters in the world at the time have showcased how when there's a grappling deficiency in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, even an Olympic level wrestler who trained at the Olympic Training Center, right? Chael was a good wrestler. He got swept by Damian Maia. You could like, because Damian Maia pulled like half guard with an underhook, right? And is it easy to do that to Chael? No. But it's easier to do that to Mike Perry. And is Nate Diaz as good as Damian Maia in grappling? No. But the skill difference between Mike Perry and Nate Diaz is greater than the skill difference between Damian Maia and Chael, and it worked for Damian Maia. Anyways, guys, we're getting fucking too factual around here. I'm getting way too based in reality. I know it's fucking blowing your guys' minds. Mike Perry said that he doesn't give a damn. Felony Charles Bennett said cola. Yeah, you know, it's that Whole Foods brand, bro. You know what I mean? I paid extra for this. Felony says Whole Foods, whole paycheck. I say, you're right, bro. My health is worth it. You know. Meanwhile, Felony's out here beating dudes up. He's older than me. I'm not gonna say his age. That's his business. But you know, he's thriving on Mountain Dew and Black and Mild. So guess what? Nutrition is a fucking scam, guys. How's the kids program at XC? Oh, the kids program is dope, man. We have Bryce teaching the jiu-jitsu. We have multiple coaches. Well, he actually has like 3 other coaches. But Bryce is heading the thing. Bryce is super detailed and he's great with kids. And there's like there's a Brazilian girl named Myra, and she fought in the PFL. She beat, what is that girl's name? Caitlin Katniss, whatever that girl's name is. She beat her in the PFL, and she is super, super attentive and patient with the kids. And then like a lot of the parents train too. So there's like 7 people who were like colored belts on the mat some days. So that's pretty dope. And then the kids kickboxing program has like a lot of coaches as well. We have Coach Carlos. He is brown shirt, I believe, in Bang Muay Thai. And then his assistant is Alyssa, and she is, I believe, a blue shirt. So they're great, super patient. And then we have Justin James, who is running an entire wrestling practice, and he coaches like junior high and high school. So yeah, man. I mean, here's what I always say. Pop by, check it out. Pop by some other places, check them out. Go with what fits you and your family best. That's what I always say. But I support the program there. So I think it's pretty epic. Felony Charles Bennett says, I forgot. She not. I'm not on it. Yes, I will verify. I have never seen Felony Charles Bennett use steroids. I have seen him smoke nicotine, tobacco products. I've seen that, and I've seen him drink Mountain Dew, and I've seen him eat Funyuns, baked spaghetti, a lot of seafood, deer meat, no steroids. So I can verify that Felony's not on steroids. As to everybody else, I don't know. I would fuck, dude. I have these video ideas in my head, and one of them is like, I regret not doing steroids. Right? Like, I want to do a whole video on that because, like, part of me kind of like really does regret not juicing. Right? So, anyways, old cowboy beat Perry on the ground fairly easily. Right? Okay, so yeah, Brandon. So in past lives, I've trained with Cowboy right after he beat Mike Perry. And Cowboy is pretty good at grappling for an MMA guy. I've also trained with Ryan Hall, who's a fucking maniac jiu-jitsu freak, who's one of the best people I've ever trained with. Nate Diaz beat Ryan Hall when they were purple belts. Nate beat him in the gi, and Ryan was a fucking Animal at purple belt. In Nogi, he tapped people on my team that were like black belts while he was a blue belt, let alone a purple belt. He was tapping black belts while he was a blue belt. And then at a purple belt, he was tapping even more black belts. And then Nate beat him in the gi. Like, Nate's good, dude. Nate's fucking good. And so, based on that experience with someone who lost to Nate and someone who beat Mike Perry, I would highly, 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 highly favor, and I don't mean high because Nate smokes, but I mean like extremely favor Nate Diaz on the ground, like 100-1 odds. And Mike Perry could have got better, but Mike took a side quest from MMA and he's doing amazing. And he's bare knuckle, bad motherfucker, king of violence. But how much grappling was he doing while he was doing that? And you know what Nate's probably been doing? Nate's probably been smoking weed, grappling, boxing, and fucking running, doing triathlons or whatever the fuck they do up there. You know what I mean? All right. Thanks for the info on the kids program. My daughter will be going soon. Cool, man. If you see me up there, say what's up. Why do you regret not juicing? Oh, bro. Yeah. So, here's the thing, Felony. I feel like a lot of these dudes are on steroids, right? Like people that we both know that have big kick streams now that were world champions, they admit to being on steroids. They say in Pride there was no steroid testing. The people they fought were on steroids. The dude you knocked out backstage, Vanderlei Silva, was on steroids, right? Like everybody's on steroids. And here's me and you, bro, running around. I got my feet in the grass and I'm like doing breath work and getting sunshine. You know what I mean? And other dudes are sticking needles in their fucking butt cheeks and coming in like the fucking Incredible Hulk, right? And I'm like, you know what, man? If these are the actual, it's like an eye poke, right? If the ref's not going to deduct a point for an eye poke, then is it really a foul? Or is it just a strategy? So if like all these dudes are on steroids and it's like, don't get caught for steroids, so the actual offense is getting caught, it's not actually being on them, then it's like, what are we doing, bro? We're fighting at a disadvantage. And although I'm like about to just go full IRL stream on Kick and just like fuck MMA in a way, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll still scrap or whatever just for fun, but like, I already got down with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's like, what could have we done? Can you imagine if you were to juice, bro? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine, bro? Like, I'm just saying, since those are the rules of engagement, we're playing by a different set of rules. We're done. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need this right now. I don't need to be starving to get my weight down. There's a solution for that. You just inject it and then you fucking walk around, you're good. You know what I mean? We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how me and you might be sore because we practice a lot? What if we just weren't sore, bro? There's an injection for that, dog. You know what I'm saying? Ryan is a leg lock master, right? Yeah. So Ryan is a jiu-jitsu master, specifically known for his leg lock game. And before he was a leg lock master, he actually put out a course, and this was a big drama at the time. They put out Ryan Angle University because he had won 250 matches back to back, something like that, in competition via triangle. It was like if he had 279 matches, 250 of them were triangle submissions. It was wild. He was triangling everybody. And then him and a dude named Master Lloyd. And Master Lloyd has always been fucking cool to me. I see him getting fucking blasted online. Keenan Cornelius blasts him. Keenan Cornelius became famous because of Master Lloyd. Ryan became famous, and obviously, because of their hard work and dedication and, discipline and diligence and fucking intelligence. But in terms of marketing, the marketing side of it that got Keenan famous, that got Ryan famous, was Master Lloyd. And that doesn't mean that Master Lloyd couldn't have been doing some other shit that I don't know about. You know what I mean? He could be a good marketer and a good coach and be doing other shit. I don't know. I don't know about that. I just know what the allegations, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so Ryan had an entire course on Ryan Angle University. And Ryan claims he wasn't paid fairly for that. And then Master Lloyd, this is just what I heard. I didn't hear it from either one of them. This is like third party rumor bullshit. So don't take anything I say seriously. Was that Lloyd's like, dude, I paid your rent, paid your food, gave you fucking a job, was paying your bills, was like giving you money. You could train 3 times a day, whatever. And all I asked was like to be able to market a course. You didn't at the time know how to market, so I market it. Who cares what I made, right? It took you 4 hours to shoot it or whatever. I got paid, but I'm paying all your bills. So this is how I'm able to sustain you. And then the other, aspect of it is like, bro, you made $197,000 in a day, bro. I'd like a cut, please. You know, right? So I get both their sides. If that's even what really happened, I don't know that happened. But anyways, Ryan had an entire course called Ryan Angle University. And now he has his own gym, 50/50, and he has his own set of courses. And some of his shit's pretty fucking dope, man. I got his course on dragging the fight to the ground. Because I've competed against Ryan twice at blue belt. It sucked. He was a little scrawny dude, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm pretty naturally athletic. Like I've got great genetics." And I was like, "I'm gonna murder this dude." And that motherfucker was so systematic. I'd never felt a system of jujitsu like that until I went against Ryan Hall. And Ryan Hall changed my entire approach to martial arts. And so if you guys want to support Ryan, go get his instructionals from his website, Ryan 50/50, whatever. I think it's Ryan Hall BJJ or something, 50/50. You'll find it. You can just Google it, right? But it's just shit's dope. And he's got a lot of unique, interesting concepts that are like outside of the mainstream. Like, what if you're the way superior grappler? Would you want to wrestle up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like thinking the same shit over here on my side of the world. And then I'm watching his trailer for his instructional, and I'm like, dude, that's what I'm saying. And I know he competes at a higher level than I've competed at. So I'm like, dude, this guy might have the advanced version of what I'm out here calculating. So I went and bought that shit. Bought that shit. Let's go. I feel more powerful than someone uses. Yeah, dude, I get that too, right? Like, it's almost like sometimes when these dudes are juiced, that they don't have it, right? But like what I'm saying is you got it and then you juice. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes I get what you're saying though. Like sometimes they're like supplementing their skill deficiency or their tactical deficiency or their technical deficiency with just injecting. And then I know, and Felony, I've talked about this like off camera. And he's like, man, he's like, I'll touch the chin, bro. Okay, all them motherfuckers. And I'm like, well, shit, I've seen you do it, bro. So, question. There's lots of people from the MMA world, like Brendan Schaub, things that were a fighter on steroids. It's not considered cheating. Do you think that it is cheating? If you're doing juice while you're competing, that would be. See, that's the thing, right? Like being caught for steroids is the offense. Like they say you can't do them, but they like. So yeah, I would consider doing steroids cheating personally. But they are having the enhanced games, and the enhanced games, one they fundraised it or whatever. They got investors for $1 billion. I think it's 1.3 billion for the enhanced games, which is going to be the competitor to the Olympics, where there's no drug testing, and they're actually like allegedly, and this could be just fake news, but like gonna tell you what they're on. So it's the enhanced games, and now we're going to get some actual feedback as to what's possible if people are just left to their own devices and like just juicing up. And there's some sports I don't think that it will help as much as others, but it will be interesting to see when there's an entire league of sports that are allowed to juice and not get shamed for it. I saw you have a Circus sponsor. Is that from Dr. Octagon? Oh yeah, Doc Ock is the fucking man, bro. He's keeping the busters in check on Twitter. And I guess you call it X now. Yeah, Fight Circus. And I'm not even saying that like you gotta hit the cash app right now, but this is Felony's cash app. And so Felony performs for Fight Circus. I've performed for Fight Circus twice. And yeah, Doc Ock runs that whole shit. He is the head motherfucker in charge over there. Yeah. Yeah, Doc Ock is fucking, he's definitely the fucking man. Yeah, he popped out to Japan for a while. But I played a character named Dong Master 3000. He is a pimp with a heart of gold. And I fought a midget who he wants me to call him that. His name's D-Lo. He's super viral, very, very famous little person. And he's like, he called me the N-word. And he said, call me a midget, bro. I'm not soft, bro. I'm not offended. He's like, call me that shit. And I'm like, bro. And he's like, no. Yeah. So it's like weird because the thing is that like you got these politically correct thought police saying don't call him that. And I'm like, he's asking to be called that. I'm gonna respect his wishes. So, anyways, I pro wrestled D'Lo, and he was playing a character called Top Shotta, and I was playing a character named Dong Master, and we were fighting over our mutual love interest. It was a love triangle, and her name was Jugs Judy. So it gets kind of wild out there at Fight Circus. Fight Circus is crazy. I invited some of my boys from Extreme Couture, and a lot of people love the show. And then I have some other friends that are like Christian, and they popped it the fuck out. They bounced because the show was too crazy. There was like strippers on poles and all kinds of. It was Fight Circus pops the fuck off. If you're into that sort of thing, dude, you will love Fight Circus. And then the other time I interfered in the main event as Dong Master, I grabbed somebody's ankle and made him fall, and then they brought me into the ring, and I teamed up with Mark the Shark Irwin, who's a bare knuckle world champion at 135 pounds, and we put on a two-person T-shirt, and I had a boxing glove on this hand, and he had a boxing glove on that hand. And prior to that, it was a beer boxing match. So it went from beer boxing to two-on-two T-shirt boxing. We fought Oscar Willis of Conor McGregor MacLife fame, and we fought Ben Davis of I guess he's famous for getting beat up by dudes as a reporter. So we fought those guys, and it was a fun event. So shout out to Fight Circus. So Felony he fought a 2-on-1 fight in Thailand, and then they ran it back. The same, like, the fight ended, and then they ran it back immediately because, like, Fight Circus in Thailand, you do whatever the fuck you want. There's no commission, right? So it's like, let's run that one back. So they ran that one back. So that's super fucking interesting. And then Felony fought a gentleman named Death Sentence 2 nights back to back in Vegas, and the commission was there the first night. So Fight Circus was still learning how to interact with the commission. You know what I mean? Like what's possible, what's not possible. And the commission watched everything the first night and then kind of gave the go ahead. They're like, we get what this is. And the first night, they were spinning something called the Wheel of Violence. And the Wheel of Violence can be MMA, it can be kickboxing, it can be boxing, it can be spinning shit only, it can be a dance battle, right? So you don't know what rule set you're going to compete in. And each round they spin the wheel. And Felony fought Death Sentence 2 nights back to back in the Wheel of Violence. And unfortunately for Death Sentence, on the second night, the third round was MMA. And Felony picked that man up over his head, slammed him down, and choked him out. Felony was merciful, guys. He didn't even fucking KO him stiff. So that's how nice of a guy Felony is, guys. I know what you're thinking. You guys see the mugshots and you think all this crazy shit. Felony's a nice dude, guys. Okay, he's changed, and that's some real shit. You know what I mean? He's right out here in the living room, or maybe in his bedroom over here. Chilling. So yeah, that's my experience with Fight Circus. And Thailand is crazy. So if you ever get a chance to go over there, they're doing weekly events every Friday at Candy Nightclub. It's a beach club. It's a day club. It's a nightclub. It's a club. It's all of that and more. And they have white sands, and you get dinner and some fights. So it's like a dinner and a movie, dinner and a show type thing, like a Vegas show where you get dinner and a show, but it's dinner and some fucking fights. Dude, they got the craziest shit. Like some of the shit that they do, like I don't even want to talk about on the live because I feel like we're on a platform, okay? And out of respect for the platform, I want to like adhere to what the platform like they're giving me a way to get in front of you guys and then build an audience of like-minded individuals. And in exchange for that, they're asking that I respect some rules that they set. And while I might not agree with the rules personally, like I'm not Mr. fucking thought police or like watch what you say to each other type shit. Uh, it seems like this platform is. So, like in Thailand, you would call someone a lady boy. But out here on this platform, that would be a trans woman. Even though that person was born biologically male, but they're a trans woman now. But that person grew up as a boy fighting Muay Thai since a child and as a man fighting Muay Thai and then transitioned into a woman later and can still fucking fight Muay Thai. So they'll have that trans woman fight an actual, like a European Muay Thai champion in an actual Muay Thai fight with fucking elbows and bare shins. You know what I mean? Like that one, that might be the craziest one visually because it's like a woman and a man fighting, like visually it's fucking gnarly. They have Lethway, so there's people doing fucking headbutts to each other. Boom! It's fucking. Some of the highlights are so gnarly. They have the sickest fucking headbutt highlight. And they got Blob Tang out here fighting Muay Thai, and he smokes cigarettes. A lot of the Thais smoke cigarettes, and they got good cardio because they train all day. Dude, Blob Tank smoking cigarettes on the way. Snoop Dogg shared it. 50 Cent shared it. It's got like 150 fucking million views. John Nuts fighting two dudes who are like half his size at the same, and he's fucking soccer kicking them. Dude, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. So I tell people, hey, go follow Fight Circus if you're into that, you know? Thanks for the live, bro. Good stuff. I'll make sure to say hi to you. See, yeah, man. Come say what's up, man. Speaking of which, we are at like a fucking hour on this piece. Let me hit this. I love you guys. I had a lot of fun tonight. Chat was fun. Bang the bell so you know when I go live. That way we can interact. I'm looking to connect. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.